Have you ever felt that peculiar sensation of standing on the edge of revelation, where something vast and ineffable seems to be reaching toward you from beyond the veil of ordinary perception? That moment when the world around you suddenly becomes translucent, and you sense that behind every mundane interaction, every fleeting glance, every synchronicity that makes you pause and wonder, there is an intelligence far greater than your own, trying to make contact. This is not the product of an overactive imagination or wishful thinking. This is the universe itself attempting to penetrate the thick layers of conditioning, distraction, and cultural hypnosis that have accumulated around your consciousness, like sediment on the ocean floor. Yet every time this cosmic intelligence extends its tendrils toward your awareness, every time it whispers through the cracks in consensus reality, you find yourself looking the other way, caught up in the endless stream of notifications, obligations, and mental chatter that has become the soundtrack of modern existence. The relationship between human consciousness and the larger intelligence that permeates existence resembles that of a radio receiver that has forgotten how to tune into the frequencies it was designed to detect. Imagine for a moment an ancient radio, buried under decades of dust and debris, its antenna partially broken, its circuits clouded with the residue of disuse. The signals are still broadcasting. The cosmic transmissions never cease, but the receiver has lost its capacity to distinguish between signal and noise, between the profound and the trivial. This is the condition of most human beings in the 21st century. We are magnificent instruments of consciousness, evolved over millions of years to perceive and interpret the deeper patterns of reality. Yet we have allowed our sensitivity to atrophy, our discernment to be overwhelmed by the constant barrage of artificial stimulation that surrounds us like a fog. Consider the last time you were walking in nature, perhaps along a forest path or beside a flowing stream, and you suddenly felt that shift in perception where time seemed to slow down and your awareness expanded beyond the boundaries of your individual self. In that moment, you were not simply experiencing a pleasant interlude from urban stress. You were actually returning to your natural state as a receiver of cosmic intelligence. The trees, the water, the quality of light filtering through leaves, the subtle sounds of wind and wildlife, all of these were components of a vast communication network, a language that your deepest self still remembers how to understand. Yet how quickly that expanded awareness faded as soon as you returned to the world of human artifice. How rapidly the volume of nature's voice diminished beneath the cacophony of civilization's demands. The universe speaks to us constantly through what we might call the language of pattern and synchronicity. It communicates through the way certain numbers appear repeatedly in your life just when you need guidance, through the book that falls open to exactly the page containing the insight you've been seeking, through the stranger who appears with precisely the words you needed to hear at the moment you were ready to receive them. These are not coincidences in the materialist sense. They are communications from a level of intelligence that operates according to principles our rational minds have been trained to dismiss as meaningless. This intelligence understands that the most profound truths cannot be transmitted through linear language or logical argument. They must be experienced through the heart, intuited through the body, recognized through that faculty of knowing that exists beyond the boundaries of analytical thought. But here we encounter one of the great paradoxes of our time. The very technological civilization that has given us unprecedented access to information has simultaneously created an environment that makes deep listening nearly impossible. Every ping of your smartphone, every urgent email, every carefully crafted piece of content designed to capture your attention for commercial purposes is essentially jamming the frequencies through which cosmic intelligence attempts to reach you. You live surrounded by an electromagnetic soup of artificial signals, all competing for the bandwidth of your awareness, all pulling you away from the subtle channels through which genuine wisdom flows. I want to pause for a moment and ask you directly, when was the last time you sat in complete silence for more than a few minutes without feeling the compulsive urge to check your phone, turn on music, or fill the space with some form of distraction? When did you last experience that profound quiet where thoughts naturally settle and you become aware of the deeper currents of consciousness flowing beneath the surface of your everyday mind? I know this might seem like an impossible luxury in our hyper-connected world, where silence feels uncomfortable, where being alone with our thoughts triggers anxiety rather than peace. We have become so addicted to external stimulation that we've forgotten how to be present with the vast intelligence that dwells within our own being. I want you to know that this restlessness you feel, this sense that you're missing something essential even when your life appears to be functioning normally, is actually the universe calling you home to yourself. It's the cosmic intelligence attempting to remind you of who you really are, beneath the layers of social programming and cultural conditioning. And that's why I'd like to invite you to share a fragment of your experience in the comments below. You can simply copy this phrase and complete it. I knew the universe was trying to communicate with me when By sharing this, you're not only acknowledging your own experience, but also creating a beacon for others who might be watching this video feeling like they're the only one experiencing these mysterious moments of connection. Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to recognize that their intuitions are valid, that their sense of being guided by something greater than their personal will is not imagination, but direct perception of how reality actually operates. This community of awakening individuals, scattered across the globe but united by our shared recognition of the intelligence that underlies existence, grows stronger every time we acknowledge each other's experiences. Now let's explore more deeply what happens when we begin to recognize these communications from the universe, and why our modern world makes it so challenging to maintain this recognition. The cosmic intelligence that seeks to guide us operates on principles that are fundamentally different from those that govern our technological culture. While our civilization values speed, efficiency, and immediate gratification, the universe communicates through patience, subtlety, and the gradual unfolding of understanding over time. Where our culture emphasizes control and prediction, the cosmic intelligence works through surrender and trust in processes that unfold beyond the scope of our limited perspective. This fundamental misalignment between human culture and cosmic intelligence creates a kind of cognitive dissonance that most people experience as a vague sense of unease, a feeling that something is missing from their lives, even when all their material needs are met. You might recognize this as the hollow sensation that accompanies moments of achievement, when you've reached a goal you've been working toward for years, only to discover that the satisfaction is fleeting, that beneath the temporary pleasure lies an unchanged longing for something you cannot quite name. This longing is not a sign that you need to achieve more, accumulate more, or become more successful in conventional terms. It is the voice of your soul calling you to remember your true relationship with the intelligence that animates all existence. The ancient wisdom traditions understood this relationship and developed practices specifically designed to quiet the mental noise that prevents us from hearing the universe's communications. Meditation, contemplation, prayer, sacred ceremony, time spent in solitude in natural settings. All of these practices serve the same essential function. They create space for the deeper intelligence to make itself known. But even these practices can become obstacles if we approach them with the same goal-oriented mindset that characterizes our secular pursuits. The universe cannot be controlled or manipulated into revealing its secrets. It can only be invited, welcomed, and received with the openness of a child discovering wonder for the first time. Perhaps the most challenging aspect of developing sensitivity to cosmic communication is learning to distinguish between the authentic voice of universal wisdom and the countless mental simulations, projections, and wishful fantasies that our psychological conditioning generates. The ego mind is remarkably clever at creating facsimiles of spiritual experience, at generating insights that seem profound, but actually serve to reinforce our existing beliefs and desires. True communication from the cosmic intelligence often comes in forms that surprise us, that challenge our assumptions, that invite us to grow in directions we hadn't anticipated. It rarely tells us what we want to hear. Instead, it reveals what we need to understand to move toward greater wholeness and authentic expression of our deepest nature. This discernment develops slowly through years of patient practice and careful attention to the quality of different types of inner experience. You begin to notice that genuine cosmic communication has certain characteristics. It brings a sense of peace even when the content is challenging. It opens rather than closes your heart. It increases your capacity for compassion and understanding, rather than feeding your sense of specialness or superiority. Most importantly, it always invites you toward greater service to life, toward expressing your unique gifts in ways that benefit not just yourself, but the larger web of existence of which you are an inseparable part. As this sensitivity develops, you may find yourself increasingly out of step with the values and priorities that dominate contemporary culture. While others around you remain fascinated by the latest trends, scandals, and entertainments, you find your attention naturally drawn toward questions of meaning, purpose, and authentic relationship with the mystery of existence. This divergence can be lonely, especially when you realize that many of the people you care about are not interested in exploring these deeper dimensions of life. Yet this apparent isolation is actually another form of cosmic communication, an invitation to discover the profound solitude in which your true self can finally emerge from beneath the layers of social conditioning. The universe has been preparing you for this moment of recognition your entire life. orchestrating the experiences, relationships, and challenges that would eventually lead you to question the assumptions upon which your previous identity was constructed. Every disappointment that taught you that external achievements cannot provide lasting satisfaction, every moment of inexplicable beauty that opened your heart beyond its usual boundaries, every encounter with suffering that forced you to develop compassion for the human condition. All of these have been communications from the cosmic intelligence, gradually preparing your consciousness to receive transmissions from dimensions of reality that exist beyond the reach of ordinary perception. But here's what makes this process so paradoxical. The more sensitized you become to these subtle communications, the more apparent it becomes how much noise you must navigate in order to hear them clearly. Modern life surrounds us with layer upon layer of interference, from the obvious distractions of media and technology to the more subtle but equally disruptive influences of social expectations, psychological conditioning, and the collective unconscious patterns that shape how we perceive ourselves and our possibilities. Learning to receive cosmic communication is not just about developing new capacities. It's about gradually stripping away everything that prevents you from accessing abilities that were already present within you. This stripping away process is where many people encounter resistance, both from their own psychological defenses and from the cultural systems that benefit from keeping human consciousness focused on external pursuits rather than internal exploration. When you begin to spend significant time in silence, when you start to value inner development over external achievement, when you discover that your deepest fulfillment comes from communion with the intelligence that permeates existence, rather than from the approval and validation of other people, you're essentially choosing to step outside the matrix of values that keeps our consumer civilization functioning. You become, in a very real sense, a threat to the systems that depend on keeping human attention focused outward rather than inward. Yet this apparent conflict between spiritual awakening and social participation is itself another communication from the cosmic intelligence, an invitation to discover how to live authentically in the world without being of it, how to maintain your connection to the deeper currents of wisdom while still fulfilling your responsibilities and expressing your love for the people in your life. This integration is perhaps the ultimate challenge of spiritual maturity, not to escape from human life into some ethereal realm of pure consciousness, but to become a bridge between the cosmic intelligence and the world of form, allowing the wisdom you receive in solitude to flow through you into practical service to life. The universe doesn't communicate with you so that you can become special or enlightened in some way that separates you from other human beings. It communicates with you because you are being prepared to serve as a conduit for the healing and transformation that our world desperately needs. Every moment of expanded awareness you experience, every insight that arrives through synchronicity or meditation, every flash of understanding that illuminates the interconnectedness of all things is meant to flow through you into your relationships, your work, your creative expression, and your simple presence in the world. As you learn to trust this guidance and allow it to shape your choices and priorities, you discover something remarkable. The universe has been guiding not just you, but everyone around you, orchestrating a vast symphony of awakening consciousness that extends far beyond what any individual perspective can comprehend. You begin to see how the challenges and opportunities in your life fit into larger patterns of collective evolution, how your personal healing contributes to the healing of ancestral trauma, how your individual awakening participates in the emergence of new possibilities for human civilization. This recognition brings with it a profound sense of responsibility and purpose that goes far beyond personal fulfillment or spiritual achievement. You understand that you are participating in something much larger than your individual life, something that extends backward through the lineage of all those who have sought truth throughout history, and forward into a future where human consciousness has learned to align with, rather than resist, the intelligence that governs the cosmos. Your life becomes a conscious collaboration with this intelligence, your choices guided not by fear or desire, but by a deep trust in the wisdom that emerges when personal will surrenders to cosmic purpose. Trust this process, even when it leads you into territories that seem unfamiliar or challenging to your previous understanding of who you are and what your life is supposed to look like. Trust that the universe knows exactly how to guide you toward the expression of your deepest gifts, the healing of your oldest wounds, and the fulfillment of the purpose for which you incarnated in this particular time and place. Trust that every apparent obstacle is actually an invitation to develop new capacities, every moment of confusion, an opportunity to surrender more completely to the intelligence that sees the bigger picture, even when you cannot. The communications you receive from the cosmic intelligence are not meant to make your life easier in the conventional sense. They are meant to make your life more meaningful, more authentic, more aligned with the creative force that brought you into existence. Sometimes this guidance will lead you away from paths that seemed secure, but were ultimately limiting. Sometimes it will ask you to release relationships or situations that no longer serve your growth, even when that release involves grief or temporary disorientation. Sometimes it will invite you to express aspects of yourself that feel vulnerable or unconventional, to speak truths that others might not be ready to hear, to live in ways that challenge the assumptions of the culture around you. But in following this guidance, you discover something that no amount of external achievement can provide: the deep satisfaction of living in alignment with your authentic nature, the peace that comes from knowing you are fulfilling the purpose for which you exist, the joy of participating consciously in the cosmic dance of creation and evolution. You become a living bridge between heaven and earth, between the infinite intelligence of the cosmos and the finite expressions of that intelligence that we call human life. If these reflections on cosmic communication and spiritual awakening touch something within you, know that this touching itself is a communication from the universe, a signal that you are ready to deepen your relationship with the intelligence that guides all existence. This recognition is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of a more conscious participation in the cosmic conversation that has been occurring within and around you throughout your entire life. By subscribing to this channel, you join a community of individuals who are learning to listen more carefully to these subtle transmissions, who are discovering how to navigate the challenges of spiritual awakening in a world that often seems hostile to inner development. Each video we create is an attempt to translate the insights that emerge from deep listening into language that can support others who are walking this pathless path of return to their authentic nature. We are not here to offer easy answers or quick fixes for the existential challenges that accompany genuine spiritual growth. We are here to provide a space where the difficulties, confusions, and profound revelations of this journey can be acknowledged and explored with honesty and depth. We are here to remind you that the loneliness you sometimes feel on this path is temporary, that there are others who understand the territory you're navigating, who recognize the significance of the experiences that others might dismiss as imagination or fantasy. If you find yourself increasingly sensitive to dimensions of reality that most people around you seem unaware of, if you're receiving guidance through dreams, synchronicities, and moments of expanded awareness, if you feel called to live more authentically even when that authenticity challenges social conventions, this channel is for you. Subscribe and allow yourself to be nourished by reflections that honor both the beauty and the difficulty of awakening to your cosmic nature while still living fully in human form. There is a particular quality of attention that emerges when you finally stop trying to figure everything out with your analytical mind and instead learn to listen with your entire being. This is not the passive listening of someone waiting for instructions, nor the desperate seeking of someone grasping for answers to their problems. It is the alert receptivity of consciousness, returning to its natural state, like a still lake that can perfectly reflect the sky above it, because it is no longer disturbed by the winds of mental agitation. In this state of open listening, the universe reveals itself to be far stranger, far more magical, and far more intimately connected to your deepest self than anything your rational mind could have imagined. The cosmic intelligence that seeks to communicate with you operates through multiple channels simultaneously, weaving together inner experiences and outer events in ways that create a tapestry of meaning that transcends the linear causality our scientific worldview teaches us to expect. Dreams become messages, bodily sensations become guidance, relationships become mirrors reflecting back the aspects of yourself that are ready to be transformed. Even your resistances, your fears, and your psychological patterns become part of the communication, as the universe uses everything in your experience as raw material for the ongoing creation of your authentic self. But perhaps the most profound realization that emerges from sustained practice of cosmic listening is the recognition that you are not separate from the intelligence that is trying to communicate with you. The voice you learn to hear in meditation, the wisdom that emerges through synchronicity, the love that flows through your heart when you witness the suffering and beauty of existence, all of these are expressions of your own deepest nature, temporarily forgotten aspects of your cosmic identity that are being restored to conscious awareness through the patient process of spiritual awakening. This understanding dissolves one of the most persistent illusions of the spiritual journey, the idea that enlightenment is something you achieve rather than something you remember, something you acquire from outside yourself rather than something you uncover within the depths of your own being. The universe is not speaking to you from some distant realm. It is speaking as you, through the voice of your own awakened consciousness, using the language of your unique life circumstances to remind you of truths that exist beyond the boundaries of personal memory. Yet even as this recognition dawns, you may find yourself cycling between moments of crystal clarity and periods of profound confusion, between times when the cosmic intelligence seems to flow through you with effortless grace, and times when you feel cut off from any sense of guidance or purpose. This cycling is not a sign that you are doing something wrong, or that your spiritual practice is inadequate. It is the natural rhythm of consciousness as it learns to integrate expanded states of awareness with the practical demands of human existence. The cosmic intelligence respects the finite nature of human psychology and never overwhelms your system with more insight than you are ready to integrate. Like a master teacher who gradually increases the complexity of the lessons as the student demonstrates readiness for greater challenge, the universe calibrates its communications to your current capacity for understanding and implementation. Sometimes the guidance comes through profound mystical experiences that shift your entire perspective on reality. Sometimes it arrives as the simple knowing that you need to make a phone call, take a walk, or sit quietly for a few moments without agenda. Learning to value these subtle communications as much as the dramatic peak experiences requires a fundamental shift in how you understand spiritual development. Our culture tends to value the extraordinary over the ordinary, the peak over the plateau, the breakthrough over the gradual integration. But the universe operates according to different principles, finding the miraculous within the mundane, the infinite within the finite, the sacred within the apparently secular. Every breath you take is a cosmic communication. Every heartbeat a message from the intelligence that sustains all life. Every moment of conscious presence, an opportunity to participate more fully in the creative unfolding of existence. As your sensitivity to these communications develops, you begin to notice how the quality of your attention affects the quality of the guidance you receive. When you approach the universe with desperate need, trying to extract specific answers to your problems, the communications tend to become clouded by your own projections and desires. When you approach with genuine curiosity and openness to whatever wants to emerge, the guidance flows more clearly, often revealing perspectives and possibilities that your limited personal viewpoint could never have generated. This teaching about the relationship between inner state and received guidance extends into every aspect of life. The quality of your relationships reflects the quality of your relationship with yourself. The nature of the opportunities that appear in your external world mirrors the level of possibility you are able to recognize and receive within your own consciousness. The degree of meaning and purpose you experience in your daily activities corresponds directly to your capacity to perceive the sacred dimension that underlies all manifestation. Understanding these correlations empowers you to participate more consciously in the creation of your experience, not through forceful manipulation of external circumstances, but through the cultivation of inner states that naturally attract the experiences most aligned with your authentic development. You learn to prepare your consciousness like a gardener prepares soil, creating the optimal conditions for the seeds of cosmic wisdom to take root and flourish in the unique ecosystem of your individual life. This preparation involves not only the obvious practices of meditation and spiritual study, but also the more subtle arts of emotional alchemy and psychological integration. Every unhealed wound in your psyche creates static in the communication channels through which cosmic intelligence flows. Every unresolved trauma generates interference patterns that distort the clarity of the guidance you receive. Every aspect of your shadow that remains unconscious acts like a filter that allows only certain frequencies of wisdom to reach your awareness while blocking others that might threaten your psychological defenses. The universe invites you into a collaboration where your personal healing becomes a service to the larger process of collective awakening, where your individual journey toward wholeness contributes to the emergence of new possibilities for human consciousness. As you learn to face your own darkness with compassion rather than judgment, as you develop the courage to feel your own pain without numbing or projection, as you cultivate the strength to love your own imperfections as necessary components of your unique contribution to existence, you create space for cosmic intelligence to work through you in ways that serve the healing and evolution of the entire world. This understanding transforms the spiritual path from a selfish pursuit of personal enlightenment into a form of planetary service, where your commitment to your own awakening becomes an offering to the collective awakening of humanity. You begin to see how your personal struggles with fear, doubt, and limitation are not private failures, but archetypal challenges that millions of other people are also navigating, and how your breakthroughs in consciousness create templates of possibility that others can follow even if they never meet you personally. The cosmic intelligence works through networks of resonance that operate beyond the boundaries of space and time. connecting awakening individuals across cultures and generations through invisible threads of mutual support and shared purpose. When you make a breakthrough in consciousness, when you heal a pattern that has been active in your lineage for generations, you send ripples through this network that strengthen and inspire others working with similar challenges. Yet the universe reminds you that the path of awakening is ultimately pathless, that true wisdom cannot be grasped by the strategizing mind, but only received by the surrendered heart. The cosmic intelligence operates according to principles that transcend all human attempts at spiritual methodology, appearing sometimes when you least expect it and remaining hidden when you most desperately seek it. Learning to trust this mysterious timing requires letting go of the need to control your spiritual development according to personal preferences and timeline. Sometimes the greatest spiritual progress occurs during periods when you feel like nothing is happening, when your practice seems dry, when the cosmic communications you once received seem to have gone silent. These apparent plateaus are often times of deep integration, when insights are being woven into the fabric of your everyday consciousness, when new capacities develop below the threshold of ordinary awareness. The universe teaches patience through these experiences, reminding you that consciousness unfolds according to organic rhythms that cannot be rushed or manipulated. The deepest transformations often occur so gradually that they remain invisible until you suddenly realize that your entire relationship to existence has shifted without your noticing exactly when or how it happened. Together, we form a network of conscious receivers, each tuned to slightly different frequencies of the cosmic intelligence, but all participating in the same fundamental conversation between individual awareness and universal wisdom. Your presence in this community strengthens the field of awakening consciousness that is gradually transforming our world, one open heart and receptive mind at a time. A simple click on the subscription button is your way of saying yes to deeper listening, yes to cosmic communication, yes to the magnificent mystery of your own awakening nature.